Society loves to tell you that renting is the ultimate lifestyle hack. You get flexibility, zero maintenance costs, and the freedom to pack up and move whenever a new opportunity calls. Meanwhile, buying a house is heavily framed as a geographic and financial prison. But look closely at who is actually buying those houses you are told to avoid. Wall Street and large corporate institutions have spent the last few years quietly swallowing up massive portfolios of residential real estate. Their entire business model relies on creating a demographic of permanent renters who will pay them a monthly premium for the rest of their lives. This chart breaks down the net worth of ordinary Americans based on housing status. The average renter in the United States has a net worth of roughly $10,000. Meanwhile, the average homeowner has a net worth exceeding $400,000. People who own a home are worth 40 times more than people who lease one. The landlord absorbs the property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs, but they pass every single cent of those expenses directly onto you. The idea that renting is inherently smarter is a profitable illusion. Every month you pay rent, you are actively transferring your lifetime equity straight into a corporate landlord's asset column. The systematic extraction of your daily labor begins before you even see your paycheck. If you work a standard 9 to 5, the entire first 3 hours of your day, from 9 a.m. until noon, are worked entirely to pay government taxes. The system doesn't ask you to budget for this. They take it automatically because it ensures total collection. Then, from noon until about 3 in the afternoon, every ounce of value you produce goes straight to housing, food, and basic survival costs. By the time 3 o'clock hits, you have spent the majority of your daily energy just keeping the machine running. The people who actually build wealth intercept that extraction by paying themselves first. They take the equivalent of their first hour of daily labor, roughly 12.5% of their gross income, and automatically route it into a retirement account, like a 401k. This moves the money pre-tax directly into the market before it ever hits their checking account. Because the government and landlords preemptively strike your income, relying on willpower at the end of the month is a defensive strategy that's too late. To counter a system of automated extraction, you have to implement an automated defense. Most people don't realize where the rest of their money goes because they spend it unconsciously. A coffee, an overpriced cocktail, maybe a quick lunch out. Spending just $27.40 a day on unmonitored conveniences results in a $10,000 leak every single year. This graph tracks what happens if you redirect that exact daily amount. By taking $27.40 a day and putting it into an S&P 500 index fund, returning a historical average of 10% annually, you trigger exponential growth over a 40-year timeline. With reinvested dividends, that daily fraction of income compounds continuously. That $10,000 a year eventually swells to over $4.4 million. You don't see this opportunity cost because digital spending is frictionless. Our phones and algorithms are meticulously designed to drain these daily margins. From auto-renewing app subscriptions to streaming services you forgot you had, corporate platforms rely on you failing to notice these small perpetual leaks. Breaking out of the extraction machine doesn't require a CEO salary. It requires the clinical redirection of microtransactions before they slip through your fingers. If you look closely at the institutional rich, you notice a gap between how they invest and what the public is told to buy. The wealthy use proven, quiet vehicles, while retail investors are aggressively pushed toward gamified platforms. Financial media and social algorithms thrive on marketing high-risk distractions. They sell day trading, speculative meme coins, and fast-paced options contracts as a route to riches. But trying to get rich quick by trading actively is exactly how most people lose. It is an emotional trap that generates fees for the platforms while consistently wiping out the user. True generational wealth is dull. It is built entirely through holding boring asset classes for decades. We're talking about broad market index funds, which hold thousands of stocks to spread out the risk, and fixed-rate home equity. If your investments are exciting enough to talk about at a cocktail party, you are probably taking on too much risk. The mechanism the wealthy use to grow these boring assets is total automation. By setting up investment accounts to pull funds the exact day a paycheck lands, they bypass the need for human willpower. There's no monthly budgeting or discipline required because the choice to save is made exactly once. Financial freedom is achieved by removing human emotion from the equation entirely and forcing your own participation in systems that compound your money over time. A looming macroeconomic crisis is turning automated wealth from a recommendation into a necessity for survival. The institutional safety nets that millions of citizens rely upon are mathematically underfunded. According to government data, the Social Security trust funds are scheduled to buckle in 2033. Look closely at the systems promising to protect you. These entitlement programs were built for a different demographic reality. With people living longer and government debt expanding, there isn't enough money to honor these checks in full over the next decade. Right now, over 60 million Americans depend on an average monthly check of $1,900. When the funding runs short, they are facing benefit cuts of up to 20%. For many, that represents the difference between paying for groceries and going hungry. The era of government rescue operations is over. If you do not architect your own automated rescue plan right now, you risk becoming collateral damage in a system that can no longer afford to support you. But there is a paradox built into this strategy. If you fall into the bottom 60% of earners, you operate on a discretionary income cliff. Once basic bills are paid, your surplus cash vanishes. Scrapping together $27 a day is a massive hurdle for nearly half the population. We exist in a reality where nearly 4 out of 10 Americans cannot access $400 for an emergency, making a $10,000 annual investment feel out of reach. Yet, the uncompromising reality remains. Even if it means starting with rounding up your spare change or saving just $1 a day, you must get on the board. Opting out of the automated wealth system entirely places you at a compounding disadvantage compared to institutional capital. The modern economy is built to claim every spare cent of the average worker. Failing to hijack its rules of automation leaves your financial future at the mercy of a market designed to extract value from those without equity. Subscribe to the CEO Brief and let us know in the comments, is homeownership your last shield, or is the system completely rigged?